What's going on? Welcome to the Break Orders podcast. We're going to do a special Super League episode here. I want to start off with my boy Lewis. I know him since I was 7. Grew up together. How you
Going
doing?
on, bro? What's going on? Thank you for having me, bro. I've been waiting. I'm finally here.
Yeah, tell
I'm
everybody
finally
about
here.
yourself.
Well, George knows me since we were little guys. Played high school for 4 years. Played for YKT my whole life. Grew up as a basketball player. I still play. Still stay in shape and stuff. And now we're here. Now George got a podcast. Everyone's growing up. Everyone's getting jobs.
Of course.
Good now.
It's the life now.
For sure.
Hey, what's your favorite memory on the court? There's a lot of favorite memories on the court for us.
There's so many in Super League, man. Because I played for 2 years. George played for 1. If I had to pick, it's tough. But if I had to pick one, it was the last game of the second year. I forgot which team we played. I think we played against Giannis's team, and it was the second year. And before the game, we were like, "Yo, this is the last game, and if we get an N1, we're gonna do hey, ho, hey." So we said that before the game. Greg, who's George's co-host, Greg, he gets the N1, and he goes, "Hey, ho," and I'm doing it too. I'm doing it. Someone else was doing it. It was like 3 people doing it, 3, 4 on the court. And we got so in trouble after the game. James, I'll never forget it. James came up to all of us and said, "You guys are freaking clowns." He's like, it was the wrong thing to do. It was the wrong thing to do. But yeah, that's probably my favorite moment on the court. Off the court is my man Georgie Love across from me right here. We were walking outside of Greece. This was the first year of Super League. The first year of Super League. We were walking, and the whole team. And I remember George specifically. He went up to these 2 girls, and he pretty much went 1-on-2, and he got the numbers. He got the phone numbers, and I was dying. That's classic Georgie Love, man. Classic, bro. Classic.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you gotta shoot your shot, man.
I know, man. We think about.
I'm Leo Sartsalis. I live in Nassau County, New York. Big sports guy. Love playing alongside George over here in Super League. It was a great time. Also playing against him. Really big sports guy with him.
Yeah, you got my heart broken in the semifinal game, and I think it was St. John's Prep.
Yeah.
You guys killed us. Slav lit shit to bed. That's what happened. You guys,
Listen, man, it wasn't anything personal. It wasn't anything personal. I can promise you that.
You guys took control, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And so you love Super League, Trip. I like Super League, Trip. What was your favorite memory on the court?
On the court was playing against the Panathinaikos youth squad, and that little practice gym they had. That was a really good time. Also, actually being able to use their facilities to practice on, it was great. Really gave me like a chance to look at what it was like over there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, coming in from a different country, I thought they were very cool about it. I wasn't expecting it from them. So yeah, definitely, I have to agree with that, man. What about your favorite memory off the court?
I got a couple from off the court, man. We got the headband thing going on. Still got the old headband that I wore during the trip.
Nice.
And also going to the Panathinaikos game we went to, kind of like as a group activity. It was really nice because I actually had a completely different atmosphere compared to, games over here. A lot of nuts things went on in that stadium. It was really enjoyable. Gave me a fresh atmosphere,
Yeah, definitely. I remember I was sitting next to you, and I was like, "Yo, let's go by the basket. All these empty seats."
Yeah.
in New York, definitely they would kick us out if he did that. But
James Dolan will get us the hell out of MSG for that. Come on, get out of there.
Yeah, and especially I remember the Fag McFadden, we calling him Jason Terry.
Oh yeah, dude, I remember that. That was hilarious. That was great, dude. Remember we met Nick Calathis after the game too.
Hey, you wore your headband. You wore somebody's headband.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's kind of gross too. I'm not gonna lie. I was really sweaty.
Yeah, well, that's to be continued. We'll get more into that.
Yeah.
Back to the Breakwaters pod. Today's going to be a little different of an episode. Today, I'm going to be the host, and G-Love's going to be our guest. Welcome to the pod, G-Love.
Thank you. Glad to have me on. It's good to be a guest on my own show.
Anyway, tell us a little something about you, G-Love.
Obviously, you guys know me. I'm George. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Go to St. Joseph's College. I play some tennis. I'm on a tennis team across country, having a lot of fun. And also, what I do for fun is basketball. So that's what we're going to get into today, right?
Yeah. So today's episode is obviously going to be the SLAA Greece trip that me and George both went on, and that's how we became close friends. So G-Love, out of the whole trip, playing all those minutes, what was the best part of the Greece trip? Basketball part of the trip.
I know you're thinking when I scored,
Mm-hmm.
but I have to go since I'm such a team guy, a team player. I have to go come back from 30 points. It doesn't get any better than that. Almost won the game. Yanni missed the layup, but what are you gonna do?
Oh man, come on, Yanni. Why'd you have to bring him up like that? Didn't happen just once. Anyway, yeah, no, that was a great comeback. Almost took it back. That was a great game in its own. But I know how you mentioned that I was thinking about the bucket. Can you give us like a sneak peek on what was in your head in that huge bucket against Panathinaikos?
Man, you think I'm LeBron? I only score like 2 points and like 2 free throws. You're acting like it was LeBron. I scored like 30 points.
I just want to know what was going through your head at that point.
All right, so I was like, I got this layup here. I'm gonna take this to the hole. A little nervous because I play a big man, so I thought it was gonna get stolen. But I say good handles. I just took it to the hole, and that was it. I was like, my city. Greece is my city. I scored.
Yeah, I felt like that series of events really had a huge influence on the whole trip. So thanks for that one, G-Love. Now that we covered on what your favorite moment on the court was, let's go to your favorite moment off the court. What's your favorite moment off the court, G-Love?
You know what I'm going for here? It's the ongoing headband joke. So if Matt got a series of headband collections, whether it's Trevor Booker, Ty Lawson, Tobias Harris, he has them all. And it was great because we went to the Panathinaikos game and met the players, and Nick Calathis also wore our headbands that we got. We got all of us got headbands on the trip. It was pretty cool. And Nick Calathis actually wore the headband. I mean,
that was a great moment. Yeah, so your favorite moment is Nick Calathis wearing the headband. Now that was really a great moment. Everyone was on their toes when he put it on, and it was just a great moment. That was really cool. So now, really quickly, can you just give a quick shout out to Super Athletic League for putting this trip together and allowing us to be as close as we are today?
Well, technically, Greg, it's Super League Athletic Academy.
Yeah.
James gets pissed off when you say the name wrong. I remember in the trip, we were saying Mr. Super Athletic League Academy because that's what Matt used to say. He didn't pronounce it right. And then he dang it wrong. It's Super League Athletic Academy. So thanks to Super League Athletic Academy, obviously, we great friends that I still keep in touch with. also friends for life. Like when we get together, we feel like it's yesterday. So.
For sure. Couldn't have put it any better. Anyway, thanks for coming on, G Love.
Well, my co-host Greg, but today's gonna be our guest. Gonna go in depth with the Greece trip. And that's how I met Greg, through the Greece trip, Super League Athletic Academy, the big basketball trip during Easter week. Greg, how you doing, man?
Hey, thanks for having me on. I love this show. I kind of watch it every time you guys post.
Yeah, on the court.
My favorite memory on the court. My favorite memory on the court. Well, there's so many of them. It goes from JH's first dunk to all my behind the back passes, Christo's dunks. There were so many huge moments, but my favorite memory on the court has to go to your bucket against Panathinaikos. It was just it was a huge influence on all of us. Everybody jumped. Everyone. It just changed the whole vibe of the trip. And after that bucket, we all became like, instead of like teammates, we were family at that point. So thanks to G Love and his huge bucket, telling everybody that he took over the city, going coast to coast, with no doubt in his mind that he was going to score. There was zero doubt in G Love's mind. He said, I'm going to the rack and I don't care who's in front of me. With that mentality and getting that huge bucket, that has to be the number one play on the court.
Oh, man, I appreciate you kissing up to me. I really thank you, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, G Love. I wouldn't say anything I didn't mean.
There's a lot of favorite memories off the court. What about that?
Oh, there's so many memories off the court. Well, I was on the trip both years. Obviously, G Love wasn't able to come the second year, but we all had his headbands and we all bought his headband and we repped G Love on the trip. It was funny moments when when we had the headbands that said glove and everyone was asking us what happened and why we wearing glove headbands. But my favorite memory off the court. It's a great question. My favorite memory off the court. My favorite memory off the court. Oh, I got it. My favorite memory off the court was when we beat Panathinaikos junior team. As we all know, Panathinaikos is a great organization, very well known, and we actually beat them. We didn't just beat them; we demolished them. Long story short, we made a deal with Mr. Super Athletic League Academy. Did I get it right? We made a deal with Super Athletic League saying that if we beat Panathinaikos, then we would go to the beach. Obviously, he didn't follow up on his side of the deal. So I decided to take it upon myself to jump in the pool that was closed at the time. And it was just a memory that brought us together. And I'll say it till the day I die. I don't regret it. It was something I'm always gonna remember. Jumping in the pool after the win.
Even remember your dad was bugging out at you.
Yes, yeah, he was upset because I was still in my game jersey. I jumped in. He's like, "This is never gonna dry. We have a game tomorrow, 8 a.m." But it ended up working out. We wore the other jersey the next day or whatever it was, and it worked out for us. I'm gonna say to the day I die, I will never regret jumping in that pool. It brought the team so much closer together, even though I got in trouble. I took one for the team, but it was a great experience, and I'm never gonna regret that. That was one of the best moments off the court.
Definitely. All right.
I also wanted to shout out Super Athletic League real quick for inviting me to the trip and allowing me to become friends with my so-called best friends today. And without you guys, I don't know who I'd be hanging out with right now. And I really appreciate just allowing me to be on the trip, not even allowing me to play as much as I did or score or assist or just being a huge factor on the team, but bringing everyone together and being a big piece on their own. It really helped me a lot, especially being one of the youngest kids on the team. I really was brought in like family, and I really appreciate that. And I want to say thank you to everyone who put this trip together.
Definitely, Greg. Well said. Thank you for coming on your own show. And welcome to the Break Orders podcast. This is the guy that all happened, James Fisteris. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you on.
Thanks, George. Thanks for having me, man. Excited to be here.
You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
A little bit about myself. Yeah. So, like you said, I am James Fisteris. I am a coach. I've been coaching for almost 15 to 20 years now. I don't even know the exact number. I started off coaching at my church. And from there, I'm still coaching at my church, but now I've expanded. I've started my own company, Super League Athletic Academy. And we do camps, clinics, events, trips. And that's pretty much it, man.
Definitely, yeah, go check that out. Super League Athletic Academy. Highly recommend it.
George, if I was a former camper, you better recommend it, George.
Yeah. So, James, as a coach point of view, what's your favorite memory on the court? The trip.
On the court, in regards to the Greece trip, on the court, I would probably say, I think the coolest part is always the end of the trip when we end up going. Usually the last day, it's not every year, but we go and play Philathletikos, which is Yanni Athanasi's old team, and we get to play in their gym. For some reason, whenever we play in that gym, it's always a great game. It's always exciting. It's always the end of the trip, our last game, so everyone's got a lot of energy, and it always turns out to be a great game that goes down to the wire. So I think those specific games stand out if I had to pick any.
That's awesome. Definitely play Yanni and Thanasi's team, the old gym. It's like they have the pictures up there. It's like nostalgia. So,
yeah, it's pretty cool.
What about your favorite memory off the court?
Off the court, I would probably have to say there's two. One, I just love the fact that all these kids, they start off the trip not knowing each other, and they start off, quiet, shy, and by the end of the trip, all these kids just form these great friendships and lifelong bonds that they carry on. I think till today, and probably for many years going forward. So I think that part is definitely, I think out of the whole trip on and off the court, to me, that's the most important. And two, favorite, the other one that was really memorable was, I think it was the year that you weren't there, George. I think it was the second or third year. I think it might have been the third year, actually. When we went out for dinner and we ended up being Greek music and all the kids were dancing, having a great time. I think that was a really fun night. We actually went out for Ariana's birthday that night.
I think it was the third year, because Greg would have told me, so he didn't tell me anything.
Yeah, Greg wasn't there for that one. No. Yeah.
This includes our episode, James. Thanks for coming on. A friend of mine got family over here. Going back to the Greece trip in the Super League days. How are you doing?
What's up, George? How's it going? I'm Themi from AMC. Met George on this Greece trip. Excited.
Yeah, that's good. Good to hear you, man. What's your favorite memory on the court?
On the court? Oh, I remember we had that one game where there was like a 30-point comeback, and the end wasn't so great. You remember Yanni missed that layup at the end? But I think that was we had a nice big comeback against one of the tougher teams we played. We were down like 20 early in the second half, and we battled back. But that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Sonny Forzi's team. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, I forget the name. All those. And then also getting to play against Giannis's old team. That was cool. Getting to see those things.
Giannis and Giannis, man. How can I forget?
You can't forget that. No, got the big posters up of them. That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Of course.
But yeah.
What off the court? You got a favorite memory?
So I remember you G Love. I remember we made a deal with James. It was if we beat the Panathinaikos team, we got to go to the beach. So I remember we beat them, and you came onto the bus. You were yelling. You were like, "We're going to the beach. We're going to the beach, baby." That was my favorite memory. I always remember that. And we never went to the beach.
Classic James, man. You know,
He scammed us. But it's all good. It was still a lot of fun. Good memory.
Definitely. This is JH. I don't have to explain who he is. You guys know him. Follow Gen Z Hoops' podcast. Great show. JH, welcome to the show. Welcome back.
Dude, Gilos, thanks so much for having me on. This is going to be a lot of fun, man. I've been on the show before. You and Greg do a great job. I'm so proud of you guys for starting this. I'll watch you guys start a show and keep consistent with it and keep going. How many months has it been? You guys before the summer. It's been a few months. Excuse me, my voice is all a mess because I've been yelling at Xavier practice, but really, dude, from the bottom, I mean, it means so much watching you guys do this. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you. I learned from the best, you know. Yeah, so obviously the Greece trip, great. You're wearing the jersey. I like it. Looking fire on you. What's your favorite memory on the court from the Greece trip?
See, you're putting me in a tough spot. Everyone's waiting for me to talk about my dunk. Everyone's like, okay, John's going to talk about the ball bouncing off the kid's head, grabbing it, 1, 2, bam, right? Everyone's thinking I'm going to do that. I had to bring it up for a little bit, but that's not really what I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick, did someone pick you getting a layup yet when you scored? Did anyone pick that yet?
Yeah, everybody picked that.
Everyone picked that one? Okay, I can think of a better one. Best moment. I would have to say on the court, I'm going to go from the first year's trip. I'm going to say just being playing for Panathinaikos for the first time, obviously having watched games in that gym so many times. And obviously now most recently, like going to Milwaukee, seeing game 6, seeing it all come full circle with Giannis winning a championship. But just in general, being where it all began for the first time, that was just truly special. I've been there a few times since then with Super League. But the first time sitting there being like, you know what? Giannis grew up here. He grew up in this gym. This is kind of who made the gym that made him the player he is today. We played there. We ended up losing that game off a 4-point play. Their point guard number 7, whose name, I think his name was Alex. Everyone was saying Alex to go, but it's not Alex. That kid could play though. He's really good. We ended up playing him the year after. Really good player. He had a 4-point play to go up by 2. We ended up losing the game. But just thinking about being in that gym, like tipping off in that gym, scoring in that, it was just a whole different thing. I would say just being in that gym had a different aura than the Panathinaikos gym or some of the other gyms we played at. That one just there was something special about
it. Definitely. Totally agree. Thomas and Giannis. How can you forget? Off the court. You have any memories off the court?
This is a much harder. The first question was pretty easy because they were like 2. They were collide. I knew to pick one. Off the court was a whole different thing. I would say, and I've said this before, my favorite memory off the court was when we went to the cultural center and we were walking around. The reason I like it is not because it was fun. It's not because, no one probably, no, I know no one picked that. I know that I'm the only person that picked that because it wasn't that it was so much fun or that it was such a cool experience or that it was such a cool place that I learned so much. It was the fact that was the most boring part of the trip in terms of planning wise. It was super boring. It was a museum. We all hated it. Everyone hated going there. When we were in the bus going oh my God, I can't believe it. Everyone was trying to stay in the hotel instead of going to this thing. No one wanted to go. But once we got there, that was the second, third day of the trip. That's when we all became best friends. That's when we all got close. That moment, we were all so bored. That's when we made our group chat. That's when the team became a team, right? That's when we all got really close. And everyone, I know I'm the person that picked that one because no one remembers that. I remember because that's when I was like, wait, okay, I'm on a team here. We're at a place that no one wants to be here, but we all have each other, and that's why we're having fun. And that's why I would say that culture, it might not even been a cultural center. That's how boring it was. I don't remember what the place was called. It was brand new. Everyone was like, okay, they were giving us a tour. No one cared. But we had a great time anyway because we all had each other.
Yeah, the group chat was there fire. I remember you guys were abusing somebody in the chat and
everyone got it. We don't discriminate. Everyone got abused. Everybody on the team. Everyone on the team got abused.
Yeah. All right, JH, thanks for coming on.
Always, man. Always. It's a pleasure, dude. Thank you so much for having me. Always fun talking about the Greece trip in general. Also, always fun to chop it up with you. And with Greg and who, we'll definitely. It's great. It's awesome talking about memories that have kept us all so close because if it wasn't for the Greece trip, I wouldn't know you. Right? It's crazy to think about that. And now 4 years later, we're doing a podcast talking about it, and it's still as relevant to me now as it was back then. So thanks for having me, G-Love.
No problem. Anytime. Here we got Truth Serum, Young Nitro. Woo!
Yup. Vertical View, shout out, baby. We're here. Thank you for having me on, G-Love.
Yeah, go subscribe to his channel, Vertical Views. Great
Let's
show.
do that. Thank you, man. We appreciate it. I'm a fan of your show as well, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you, what's your favorite moment on the court of Super League? I know you're a coach there. So what's your favorite on court moment?
I would say, wow. I mean, the trip was amazing. I've obviously, thanks to James and everybody over there at Super League, I've coached at a lot of levels for Super League, all the way from the younger guys to the older guys in a lot of different tournaments, Boston, New York, etc. You name it. Even in Greece. The on the court stuff is pretty straightforward, man. Like the camaraderie between the guys is amazing. Having the younger generation, which included my brother, so it was special to really coach not only my brother, but his friends, and the way they, respected what I had to say, and I respected what they had to say as players as well. And it's all about respect at the end of the day. It was just a great experience on the court. I mean, I felt like I was on the court at times. I was living through the players, man, and the on the court stuff was amazing. I mean, the wins, the comebacks, it's all great. But at the end of the day, it's that camaraderie on the court, man, that you feel like, guys were scoring, they're pointing at our bench, they're pointing at their coach, they're pointing at me. And it's just fun. It's a great feeling. The off the court stuff, man, I mean, similar to the on the court stuff, but the bonding, the stories of the situations of everything that was going on is just great, man. You get to really, bond with everybody. You get to open up. You get to connect. Most notably when we were in Greece, just walking down the strip over there in Athens, and, we're all wearing the Super League gear, and everyone knows, like, yo, these guys are together. And it's a great feeling, again, like just the ability to connect with everybody, and all the fun memories and moments that we had on the buses, at the dinners. Most notably when we were dancing in Athens, and everyone was, and we're like 40, 50 people in at that point, all around us, including the coaches. Just a great experience at all levels. Really just amazing experience. Shout out to James and Super League for that.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to James, and having you as my coach. I know you since like day one.
And you, I forgot. Yeah, and you, G-Love.
Day one. It was great to have you on there, man. I really appreciate you coming to the trip.
Thank you, man. I mean, you guys listened as well, so you guys were successful. And I appreciate you guys giving me a chance as a coach, man. I appreciate you guys letting me coach you, for sure.
No problem, anytime. So concludes our episode. Right, welcome to the Breakwater's podcast. This is the first official coach from the Super League trip. We got my man, Coach James Mccullough. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's great to see you again. How are you?
Yeah, it's great to see you too. I always see you first bonded on the Super League trip. What's your favorite on-court memory?
Man, you brought this up to me, and I did it for 3 years, so it's really hard to boil it down to like one moment, but I came up with two. That's the best I could do. I got two favorites, okay, on the court. And mentors, coaches, educators, we're not supposed to have favorites, right? But we got favorites. So some of my favorite moments are always when you see some of those kids that my favorites were always like the hardworking ones that are enthusiastic, hardworking, coachable. When you see them succeed on the court, it always just like brought something out of me. And I think the last time that I was this excited to see a dunk was Vince Carter in the dunk contest. He was like my favorite one until I saw my man JH throw one down in a game. I think that was year 2. He actually caught one in a game. I was pumped up for that one. That was big time. So shout out to JH for sure.
That was awesome. JH dunking. He doesn't all the time. It's
He
crazy.
caught me in the game too, because I was always messing with him that he was a rim grazer. He could only do it in layup lines like I could. But no, he caught one in the game. I'll give it to him. I couldn't say anything to him after that. But there was another one. The first year that we went, we had a bunch of old heads out there. You know, you and Themi, JH, and there was this little 7th grader who was on the team too. So we went over there and we're playing against all these big dudes, and there was a little 7th grader out there. And he kept on just hanging. Like he was always there. I thought he was too small at first. I'm not gonna lie, but he was in it. And I remember that first year that we went, I was so jacked up. I wanted to teach you guys like everything that I possibly could. Like, we're going to play international basketball. Like, we got to have structure, right? So we had some practices. I'm sure you remember. I tried to teach you guys all sorts of stuff that we could bring over there, and none of it worked. We just didn't have enough time to practice, right? And I remember teaching you guys like this, like, advanced concept at the time. It was kind of new of how to defend ball screens. I don't know if you remember this. We talked about icing ball screens. And I remember I kind of like forgot about it. I was like, it's too much. We're just like figuring out how to play. I'm getting into like advanced stuff, going over there, playing some friendlies in Europe. So I got away from it. But the first game we went out there, someone called out ball screen, and a little 7th grader's guarding the ball. His man Spiro. And instinctively, nobody called ice or anything like that. This isn't a concept that 7th graders do. 7th graders don't know what icing ball screens is. And he just remembered it from the weeks back in the States when we were practicing. And someone called screen and he iced it. And I just remember thinking at that point in time, I was like, that stood out to me. Like, he's really engaged. You would expect from most middle schoolers. So yeah, from those moments, they really stood out to me as moments that I was like really proud of on the court and I really enjoyed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Spiro was definitely a straight shooter. He always knocked down shots. It was like
he had a way of getting it done, man. And I love Spiro, and you know that. But when he first went out there with all those big guys, I was like, man, I don't know if this 7th grader is going to be able to hang. But nah, he was in it the whole time. The whole time. He was knocking down shots. He was hustling, guarding, and he's got that IQ.
Novak out there. It's like Steve Novak.
He doesn't have that size, but he shoots it like that. Yeah.
Definitely. What about off the court? What was your favorite memory off the court?
Off the court is tough. I think that one of the things that really stood out to me, though, was I'm pretty sure it was the last year that we went. James organizes the trip every year, and he does such a great job with all of that organization and administrative stuff, the behind-the-scenes stuff that is not fun. And he does such a great job with it. He organized one of the dinners for us to go out, and we were on the way back. And at that point, we were bringing a couple teams, so that bus was packed after dinner. So people in the back were playing music, and what was it? Party in the USA comes on, and James is up, the coaches, and we're sitting up front, and James grabs the microphone and he started singing Party in the USA. And James is like one of my closest friends, and he's also a mentor, someone I respect for all the great things that he does. And he's amazing at what he does, but he's got to work on those pipes a little bit. The singing wasn't that great. I remember we all had a good laugh. That was a really fun night of everybody really enjoying each other's company. I remember laughing real hard at that one with James, not at him, with James, but that was a good one.
Yeah, usually, I know James, like a mellow guy, doesn't do that stuff, but
yeah, I know. He was, especially, that's what I was saying. It's stressful when you're organizing a trip and you're responsible for about 50 kids over in a foreign country. You have a lot of responsibility, and it was great to see that he was able to, kick back and enjoy himself as well, because if anybody deserved to enjoy those trips, it was James.
Yeah, definitely. James is the man. And James, you are the man too. Thank you for coming on the show, and I'll see you in the splash.